Good morning,
Hi,
Alfonso. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Well, excited to be talking with you. You always bring such positive energy, and that's what our show is all about. And of
Oh,
course, you
good.
bring the funniest videos to us. So let's talk about another season of America's Funniest Videos. How do you keep this thing going, man?
I'll tell you, it's because the fans keep it going, but continue to send in such amazing videos. It's I think when you're a show that's been this popular for this long, whenever someone makes a video that's really funny, the first thought they have is, "Oh, I got to submit this to AFV," right? And so we continue to get great videos, and we've got a great team of producers that know how to put them together and mix them up and put them in creative and interesting ways of presenting them to the world each week. And I get to enjoy the fruits of all of that labor. It's really cool. It's really wonderful, and the show's really funny. And we're back with our mid-season, episodes coming out this Sunday on ABC at 7, 6 Central, and it's always great. It's funny, and I get to enjoy this show because it's like I get to enjoy it with my family. The kids still come and they still watch the show, and they sometimes when I'm watching videos to prepare for doing voiceovers, they'll sit on my lap and watch the videos with me, and they enjoy it. And so, it's always cool when you're a dad and your kids are interested in the work that you're doing. Obviously, I was an adult at the time, but I watched it when it first came on with Bob Saget, and then through the Tom Bergeron years. And so yeah, I've been watching it throughout and loved it, and always thought it was very funny. And you understood it, right? It was just like, hey, I'm going to sit here for an hour and I'm just going to laugh. And it's not thought provoking entertainment, but it's gut busting, laugh out loud entertainment. And sometimes that's what we need.
Absolutely. Now, talking about entertainment, I can't have you on here in Indianapolis and not talk about how entertained you are by race car driving.
Hmm.
How did you get into that? And have you ever been to the Indy 500?
I have been to the Indy 500. I got into racing. They used to have these celebrity races, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, and they had a Dodge Neon series that went around, and so I started doing those, and I kept winning. I kept winning all the races, and then I started actually like getting interested in doing it professionally, and so I switched over. I started racing some Formula cars. I raced in the Barber Dodge Pro Series and the Formula Mazda Series, and I raced some stock cars, and I raced a bunch of different things. I raced, go karts all over the world, and I just loved it. I fell in love with racing, and so I've just kind of stuck with it through the years. I became really good friends with Brian Herta and Michael Andretti and Mario and Marco Andretti. So I'm really good friends with the Andretti family, and Brian. I used to actually spot for Brian when he was with Walker Racing, and we traveled around the world, and I would be up on the top of the grandstand, and I'd be spotting for him, and it was just like this other world. It wasn't celebrity driven. It was just fun. It was something that I loved doing. There's something wonderful about being in a car and going incredibly fast, but being in complete control of that vehicle. I love it. I absolutely love
W-
it. I'm hoping that I
Wow.
can put together the ability to come watch the 500 again this year. I really love to be there.
Oh, we would absolutely love to have you. And I can't believe you were a spotter. That's one of those things when I got into racing, I'm like, that's a lot of pressure, like to make sure that you
You
are
know what? It was a
communicating,
lot
right?
more pressure than I ever thought I was going to have. It was so much like, when Brian asked me to do it, I went, sure, yeah, I can do it, no problem. Then you get up on that stand and you're like, so wait a minute, if I mess up, you crash.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Uh, Luckily, I didn't mess up, But it's such a fine line, right? Like you really have to. It's almost like you're racing yourself. You're almost right there in the car, having to make a split-second decision on what you're going to do. And so, hitting that button and saying inside, right? Like it's
Hmm.
it's like, are you sure? Because if you go on the radio and say it, then that guy is going to give the spot away. And so a spotter can absolutely lose a race for his driver. So it really was, and I'll say this: he kept having me back, so I must not have messed up.
Impressive, impressive. Well, let me ask, if you had a preference for your children, would you rather have them get into showbiz or get into racing? Which one would be scarier for you as a father?
Well, I don't. You're certainly not going to die on set, so there's no chance of that. Head injuries occur a lot less while you're acting. So of course I'm going to say the acting side of it for me. But to be honest with you, I was actually saying this to someone just yesterday, and I was like, I wish that my wife would be okay with me teaching them how to race, just as something else to do. Because I could actually really help them in that way. But yeah, I mean, I would love it, but my wife's not too keen on that idea.
Well, you know what? Bring the family. Sarah Fisher actually has a wonderful go-kart setup here, and maybe you could get the whole family behind the wheel and change your wife's mind a little bit. Alfonso, I wish we had more time together, but I'm so glad that we got to talk today, and looking forward to another new season of America's Funniest Home Videos. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us for another celebrity interview. Of course, the KJ Today Show isn't just about talking to celebs, it's about hanging out with you. Join us live on Wednesday nights for pop culture, people to know, and pets. The KJ Today Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch live Wednesday nights at 7.